Hello again, everybody. So today, just to review, we learned about series circuits. We learned about having a complete circuit or a racetrack. And on that racetrack, we talked about having three things: a power source, the wire or the path for the electrons to travel on, and something that's going to use that power, which in this case with our race cars, it's going to be this DC motor. This is a brushless DC motor right here. You receive this in your kit. We're going to use our power. And our electricity is going to travel on these two paths right here when we complete the circuit. So I just want to introduce you to some of the things that are in your kit. You have several fans, and you have two different shapes. So let's think about, and we can switch these out, what our race car is going to do if we use this fan, or if we use this fan, or if we use both fans. If we can find a creative way to use two fans, that would be amazing. Another thing is it kind of depends on Amazon what they send you sometimes. So you may have two different sizes of the tires. You see we have the small and the large. You can mix and match these. You can choose to use one size. You can choose to use the larger ones. So I would encourage you to think about how your car is going to move. Is it going to move faster if it stands up higher off the ground with the large tires? Does it need to maybe be at an angle and use small tires in the front or large tires in the back? Or what exactly are we going to do with those tires? The next thing that you have in your kit is you have an axle. This is your axle here. It's very simple. The safest way I have found to do this, you can use a tool if you need to, but simply the tip of the pen will also poke through the cardboard on the toilet paper holder. So it'll make a simple hole right there, and then you just insert the axle. The next item you have is this black heat shield. All right, the heat shield is going to be optional, but if you choose to use it, the way that you use it is you take your battery pack like this, you cut off two small pieces of the heat shield, you put this on, this is an important step, first. So we're going to put our heat shield on first. And once again, this step is optional. You will need a parent to complete this step. Alright, so we need a parent to help us cut a piece of the heat shield off, and then we'll need a parent for this next step. I want to point out that the heat shield is an insulator. This metal is a conductor. The metal copper wire, copper is metal, and that is a conductor. This is made of rubber or plastic. This is an insulator. Alright, so once again, we want to slide those down. They can get out of your way, that's fine. And the way that we complete our circuit, and it doesn't matter actually either side that you use, so whichever way is more comfortable. This does bend up. These contacts will bend up slightly. Simply make your wire nice and thin to fit through there just by twisting the ends of the wires. And then you just thread it through this hole right here. So once you thread it through the hole, just do it so it's snug. We have this other one. Now if your switch is closed, let me put a fan on so you can see in the video what will happen. Our circuit will connect. Okay, so we've made contact. We've completed the racetrack and we have contact. This is a switch. This back part acts as a switch. It connects the two contacts in the back, makes a complete path for the electrons to travel on. And when this switch is closed, the circuit is closed and the fan will move. Just like in the simulator, when we had a closed circuit, those light bulbs lit up. All you have to do is simply lift that switch up. We now have an open circuit. And when I touch this end right here, my fan does not move. So once again, for this other side, we're going to simply thread it through the holes. I'm going to set this down so I can do it a little better on the video. and just sort of twist those threads around. I actually have a little bit more because I usually use this as a demonstration piece to show the conductors and the insulators. All right, and before you seal these contacts, you do want to press this switch down, ensure that your circuit does work. This is going to be the first thing that you check if at any point your circuit stops working, which is why I don't always suggest to seal this portion until your circuit is completely assembled. Now, when your circuit is completely assembled, and by assembled I mean your race car is all set up ready to race, what you're going to do, if you choose, is slide this heat shield up, and what you're doing is fully insulating this metal contact here. Now, like I said, this is an optional step, and I do encourage you waiting until your bot is completely seated on your race car, because this is going to be the first thing that you're going to check for a disconnected connection right here or an opening in your circuit. Now, you do need a parent for this next step. So unless you are a professional electrician, you would have a heat gun that would be authorized for this wire gauge. We don't all have that in our home, so this is actually the next best thing. We call this the BIC 100. All right, and all you would do is in the blue part of the flame. Once again, a parent must do this step. If there is not a parent nearby, then I would encourage you to just completely skip this step. All you do is the heat shield will completely shrink down almost to the exact same gauge of the wire, and now you'll see that this does not move. So now you have a completely insulated circuit. We'll test that once again, and we see that our circuit does move, right? Our fan does move. Now, there are no limitations to this class. So if you do choose, you can mount 2 battery packs, and at that point I would encourage you to find something a little bit larger than this, maybe even a paper towel roll cut down, or a soda bottle, which we showed in the class. You are not limited to the design of your race car, and you're not limited to your materials. So if you do make one and you want to make it exactly like this, because this is your safe option, that's fine. And when you test it, you might come up with another great idea. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody's creative bots that they bring to the class next week. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to send me a message. Have a great night.